In this problem, we're solving a quadratic equation. Let's look at the equation. Here we have the equation x squared equals 4x minus 8. We're supposed to find the answer and put it in standard form. That might indicate that the answer is imaginary. Let's go and see what it is. First thing we do to solve a quadratic is set it equal to 0. So bringing the positive 4x and negative 8 over, we'll have x squared minus 4x plus 8 equals 0. This won't factor because we cannot find two numbers who multiply to get 8 and add to make 4, or negative 4. So what do? Let's try it with the completing the square method. If you don't want to use completing the square, you can use quadratic formula. Either one works here. Completing the square is good because the middle or linear term is even. When we move the positive 8 over to leave a space to complete the square, we have a negative 8. Now, the correct number to put here is always b over 2 quantity squared. Since b in this case is negative 4, we have negative 4 over 2 squared, which gives us 4. So if we add 4 to both sides, we will now have a perfect square on the left. The perfect square is x minus 2, because x minus 2 squared is equal to this trinomial. So at this point we have x minus 2 squared equals negative 4. Now we can solve with square roots. If we take the square root of both sides, we have the square root of x minus 2 quantity squared equals the square root of negative 4. But don't forget to put plus or minus in whenever you take the square root of both sides. So what happens now? Since the square root and the square are inverses, we have x minus 2 on the left and plus or minus the square root of a negative 4 on the right. However, a negative under a square root is imaginary, so let's take the negative out as our imaginary component. Also, since the square root of 4 is 2, we can rewrite this as plus or minus 2i. So now we're almost done. All we need to do is add 2 to both sides, and we have our solution. So our solution for x is that x equals 2 plus or minus 2i. Now again, if you don't like completing the square, you can always use the quadratic formula. You just need to memorize the formula. The formula to solve for x can be memorized by learning the following song. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So check it this way and see if you get the same. Remember, a will be 1, b will be negative 4, and c will be 8.